Hi, I'm Sue. Today's yoga class will be a restorative yoga class. And where I'd like to start today is talking about the props. I think with restorative yoga, it's a really juicy and lovely practice, but the props can be intimidating. So let's talk about them. First of all, you do not have to have yoga props. Um, I am going to use a yoga bolster and some yoga blankets and some yoga blocks. I would like to give you some options, assuming that you do not have these. So I've got a couch cushion here. You can see that this couch cushion is a very similar shape to this bolster. You could also use just a pillow off of your bed. Another option, this is my favorite option. This is just a big fluffy blanket. And if it's folded up enough, it has enough density to it that it'll hold up your body. So what we're looking for are things that have some density to them so that they will hold up your body. For example, this pillow is soft. It has very little density to it. So I could put this under my head or under my heels, but it's not going to hold up the weight of my body. So it's soft padding. And that's fine to have as much soft padding as you want to support your legs and your torso, those parts of the body that are heavier. We want something more dense. So again, this is just a big blanket, like a queen size um, plush blanket that I have folded up lots of times. And this is a really great shape. So you're going to need one big type of padding. So whether it be for the what I'm going to use the yoga bolster for. So it can either be a very rolled up blanket or a couch cushion or maybe even a pillow off of your bed. Okay, so that's one prop that you're going to need. And another prop you're going to need are some smaller blankets. So again, I have some yoga blankets. You do not have to use yoga blankets. So these are about the size of a throw. So just folding up a throw. And sometimes we'll use it shaped like this. Sometimes we'll double fold it. It can also be rolled up for another shape. So if you have a couple of throws, those are going to be helpful. You're going to also see me using some blocks to go under the legs. The way I'm going to use them is blocks with, so I'm a delicate flower. I like padding. So I don't want my legs just on the blocks because these blocks can be kind of hard. So what I do is I roll up a beach towel. It's just the right size. Roll it up. And then that on top of the blocks for me is perfect. Okay. So I will assume that you don't have blocks. So if you don't have blocks, you could take that one of your throws. Again, we're just looking for a similar size. So that throw rolled up is a similar size to those blocks. And then again, if you want some extra padding for under your head, feel free to grab some pillows. I also think that this is a really great practice to have your favorite things. This is my favorite blanket. So if I'm not using it for padding, I might put it just on top of my body. It's like a hug. If you have a weighted, like I have a weighted plushie that I was actually thinking about bringing into this video. I'm using some, I'm trying not to bring all of my favorite things for this. I don't want to overwhelm you. But if you have something that just makes you feel good, a favorite blanket, a favorite plushie, a favorite scent. You could use some aromatherapy here, a little drop on a towel over the eyes or just near your face. A favorite pillow, grab them. Anything that helps you to feel comfortable and safe and to help you settle is all welcome here. So in this restorative class, I'm going to offer the first pose is legs up the chair. So let's talk about that. I've got just a regular folding chair here with a blanket on top of the seat to pad my legs. Let me give you some options for this. You could be lying on the floor with your legs, your feet up on a couch or a chair. You could also do legs up the wall, where you're just positioning yourself up to a wall with your legs going up the wall. Or grab a dining room chair that is perfectly perfect. And we're just going to set this up at the back of the mat. Okay, so I hope that this doesn't feel too overwhelming. In my experience, it is worth the effort to grab these props. You might grab more than you think you'll need. When I do restorative yoga, I pause the videos. So I find out what I need, I'll pause it, I'll grab everything I need, and then work to get set up in that. So pause this video, grab your soft things, and I'll meet you back here. Comfy clothes is all you need. Okay, for our first pose, again, it'll be legs up the chair. So however you're choosing to take this pose is great. So when we get our leg, we're just trying to get our legs elevated. So that can be on a chair, a couch, or up a wall. Okay, and again, I've got some padding on the bottom of my chair to cushion my legs. Again, delicate flower. One thing I forgot to mention is when I do restorative yoga, I also like a blanket on top of my yoga mat. It's just a little more kindness to yourself to add some extra padding under your body. So I've got this yoga towel mat on top of my yoga mat. You could just have a blanket laid out that you could be lying on top of. And then I've got a blanket for under my head. So let's go ahead and move into our pose. And when we practice restorative yoga, I like to have the attitude of patience. So we're going to get into the pose, and then we're going to patiently adjust our props until we are very comfortable, okay? And again, feel free to pause the video anytime you need to. All right, so lying on the back, putting the lower legs up on the chair seat or the feet up the wall. And we do not want the knees directly over the hips. We want more of a slant or diagonal. So I'm going to scoochie my hips back a smidge, or I could push the chair back towards the back of the mat. And then I've got that blanket under my head. I like just a little curl of the end of the blanket up under my neck. It just supports my neck a little better. And then once you get settled, arms down by the sides, a little away from the body, kind of in a V shape with the palms up. And then just check your comfort level and just make any adjustments you need to make sure you're really comfortable. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Again, you could have a little towel with a drop of essential oil, maybe lavender and lemongrass, and place it over your eyes, or an eye pillow over your eyes. You could also have a blanket over your tummy here. And there is a settling, the body settling into the floor and the body settling into the props. And settling can also feel like letting go. So where in your body can you let go a little more? Relaxing the skin on your face, draining out any tension from the jaw, relaxing your tongue, and letting your shoulders just be heavy, moving down towards the floor. Relaxing down the torso, letting the belly be open and free to receive the breath. And here we just have a comfortable breath flowing in and out the nose. We're not trying to do anything special with the breath here, we're just breathing. And moving down to the lower body, can you relax your legs a little more? Are you contracting any muscles here? I can feel that I need to release in my thighs a little more, and my knees are going to fall open a little more. That's okay. Just letting go, letting go. And as you settle in to this pose and the poses to come, the more you settle in and get relaxed, you might find that a little adjustment might be helpful. So feel free to continue to take any additional adjustments to help you to be comfortable. Now just inhaling through the nose for a count of 4 and exhale out the mouth for a count of 6 or 8. We'll just take a few more rounds of that extended exhale breath, inhaling through the nose for a count of 4 and exhaling out the mouth for a count of 6 or 8. After you finish a few rounds of the extended exhale, just returning back to that comfortable breath, letting go in the body as best you can, just settling in. So from here, we're just going to roll onto the side, bring the legs off of what they're on, keeping them bent. rolling onto either side and spending a few breaths here. And when you're ready, pressing up to a comfortable seat, you can bring that top arm, top hand in front of your tummy, press into that hand to rise up to a comfortable seat. All right. So now we're going to move into our next pose. We're going to get the chair out of the way. I'll keep the blankets. So now we're going to come into a reclined bound angle pose. So we'll take the bolster or whatever prop you're using instead of a bolster. Maybe it's that big blanket. And I like a little more of a ramp to this pose. So you can prop that up with more blankets or pillows. I'm going to use my yoga blocks. Actually, I'm not going to use my yoga props because I need blocks because I need them for something else. I'm going to put some blankets under my bolster. So you can just kind of look at this as an experiment. What props do I want to use today to support today's body comfortably? So I'm going to lie back on this, and now I need to get my lower body props set up. So this is where I'm going to use my 2 yoga blocks side by side with my towel on top. And again, this could be the rolled up throw blanket to go under your knees. And I'm going to, I like a little padding under my heels in this pose. So I'm going to put my handy dandy blanket down for my feet to rest on. And you might need to adjust your props a little bit here. So I can see that this is a little too far down. I'm going to bring it up. So this is going to go under the knees. We're sitting on the seat and legs are bent, knees open as much as you want with the bottoms of the feet together. So I could extend this out wider. You could also have, if you wanted a bigger bound angle pose where the feet are closer to the seat and the knees are more open, you could put some blankets under your knees for this. And then scoot back a little more. So it just takes a little bit of time to get set up. And again, I look at it as an investment. It's a time investment. And I'm going to get rewarded with this relaxation pose. And just have to spend a little bit of time and effort to get set up comfortably. And then I get to relax into the pose. So lying back on the bolster or your big folded up blanket. And our arms are similar to the first pose, down by the sides, a little away from the body, in a V shape with the palms up. And just check your comfort level here. Is there anything you can do, any adjustments with your props, adding, moving, changing to get comfortable? And then allowing the body to settle into the pose, settling into the floor, settling into the props. And coming back to that nice, easy breath. Blowing in and out the nose. Let your shoulders be heavy and roll off of the padding that you're lying on. Relax as best you can. As you settle in more and more, just notice where you can let go a little more. I just found that my hands were a little tight, so I just brought a little more ease into the hands. You can scan through your body to see where you can let go a little more. Resting, letting go. So we're going to start to think about transitioning out of this pose. Start with bringing the feet to the floor, bending the legs. And we can meet back on the side and spend a few breaths on the side. And when you're ready, pressing yourself up slowly to a seat. All right. So we will now transition into our next pose, which is called Surfboard Pose. So we'll move these props out of the way. So you're going to need one folded up blanket for under your head. Move that up top. And then we're going to lie down on our big padding, and the big padding will be flat, no ramp for this one. So I'm going to move these blankets out of the way. And I'm going to lie down tummy first on the bolster. And I'm going to want my chin on the other side of the bolster, and then the blanket is where my forehead is going to come down to. And then this pose, I think, is more comfortable with some support under the ankles. So I'm going to take that rolled up beach towel, and it could be your rolled up throw, and I'm going to put it at the bottom of my mat. So this is how I like to get into this pose. I'm going to come onto my hands and knees facing the bolster. The first thing I'm going to do is position that ankle padding under my ankles and then start to lower down onto the bolster. And so you're just going to just make those adjustments. So lying down on top of the bolster, and again, I want my face on the other side of the bolster so that I can look down and not have to turn my head, and I can still breathe. And so some padding under the head, and you can adjust the height of this padding. It looks to me like this may not be high enough. Let me check. It's really close. I'm going to add another blanket. One more layer. And then our arms are going to be out to the sides in like goalpost arms. So arms bent, elbows straight out from the shoulders with the hands straight up from the elbows, as long as that is comfortable for your body. I need to adjust my ankle padding, move it down a little more. Top of the ankles are on that ankle padding. And then starting to just settle in here.
So we'll start to think about coming out of this pose. Maybe starting with a few deeper breaths. And you can bring your hands under your shoulders, press into the hands, but come up to hands and knees. And then from here, just whatever sounds good. You could take a few cat cows. You could drop the hips back to a child's pose. Anything, any movement that your body would like here is good. And we'll meet back in a comfortable seat. Okay, coming into our next pose. So this will be a side lying pose. And so we're going to lie on one side. We'll do a few minutes on one side and then we'll switch to the other side. So here we're going to take our big padding and turn it sideways on the mat. And our upper body is going to lie over our big padding. So a couple of extra places that I like padding in this pose. Okay, so first of all, we're going to be sitting on one hip. So I'm on my left hip with the legs bent, and I like my legs staggered here, where the right knee is on top of the left foot. I like some padding there. So I'm going to take one of my blankets. This could be one of your throw blankets, or even your beach towel is enough padding there. And just so that your ankle bone doesn't dig into your leg. That's really all that's for. So just positioning that leg blanket so that you're comfortable. That's all it's there for, is for your comfort. All of this is for your comfort. And so this can be a challenging pose because we all have different torso lengths. So feel free to change up what you're lying over, because what we want is we want the hip down. We want to be sitting on the floor, and we don't want this the seat to come up off the floor. And we're going to lie over this padding so that the left arm can come all the way down to the ground. So if your big padding needs to be smaller so that you can get the left arm down to the ground, it can be smaller. This could be just a rolled up blanket under the body. Okay, so you decide how big you want this side support to be. And then we're going to want some padding for where our head is going to come down to on the other side. So I'm going to start with one folded up blanket. All right, we don't need that anymore. Okay, so I've got the blanket between my legs. We found the best padding for that we're going to lie over, and going to come down and then adjust. I do need two blankets here. Adjust the head padding. And you've got some options with the top arm. So it can just be down in front of the body, or if you want a bigger pose here, you can reach that top arm up and over and bring it over the ear into the floor above your head. You could have padding, like I could get my beach towel and bring it. Again, I'm a delicate flower. I like padding, so I'll bring it up in front of my head padding and bring that arm up and over into the blanket. And we're going to settle here for a few minutes. And if you have tried that top arm going up and over and you're not able to relax with it like that, you can just bring that top arm into any comfortable place. So we're going to prepare to change sides. You can bring that top arm in front of the chest and press into the hand to come up to your seat. And we're just going to turn over to the other hip. Bringing that leg blanket with you, adjusting it so that you're comfortable. And then again, just lying over, we're bringing that bottom arm all the way down to the ground. That right hand is reaching straight out from the right shoulder. Positioning your head padding so that you're comfortable, getting your leg padding comfortable. Maybe the top arm comes up and over. And just like with all the other poses, we just check to see where we can bring a little more ease into the body, where can we relax a little more and just let the body be supported by the props. Settling back into that comfortable breath. Bringing that top arm down if it's overhead. Preparing to make our way up to a comfortable seat. And press into that top hand to rise up to your seat. I'm enjoying this practice very much. I hope you are too. All right, we're going to do one more set of poses before Shavasana. Yes, even restorative yoga gets Shavasana, even though the whole practice feels like Shavasana. At least it does for me. Okay, so now we're going to do a reclined twist. So we're going to lie on the side and bring one leg over to our big padding. Well, it can be any size of padding. I'm going to bring my top leg over to my bolster. You can bring that top leg over to anything you want. I'm just going to have a little bit of padding for under my head. And then I'm going to use my beach towel for my arm. I'm going to open one arm out to the opposite side. So we'll lie on the left side with the left leg. Actually, let's start on our backs. So lying down on your back, we'll bend the right leg, bring the right foot to the floor, and bring your arms out to the sides in a T shape. And then maybe scoochie the hips over to the right a couple of inches, rolling onto your left hip. And then we're going to bring the bent right leg over to your padding. And again, you decide how big that you want this padding. I like this to be pretty big. And then arms out to the sides. So I've got my right arm coming down to a beach towel over to the right side. And then you could turn the head and look towards your right hand. And we'll hold here. And just like all the other poses, if you find yourself not completely comfortable, make those adjustments to get comfortable and settle back in. Letting go in the body as best you can. And I'd like to give a variation to this pose. If this one leg across the body feels too intense, you could start on your back with both legs bent and get that padding out of the way. Scoochie the hips over to the right, and then drop both bent legs over to the left with maybe a blanket between the legs. And arms out to the sides in a T shape. So this is a more gentle twist. So you decide how big of a twist you want to take here. And if, like me, you wish you had more padding, go ahead and grab it. Okay, we're going to switch directions. So coming onto your back. And if you're using that big padding, just moving it over to the other side of your mat. And your different twist directions could need different poses. So I'll cue both of those poses that I did. So lying on our back with legs out straight and arms out to the sides in a T shape. We'll bend the left leg, left foot to the floor. And then you can scoot the hips over to the left a couple of inches and then bring that left leg over to your big padding over on the right side. And then if you arrive here and want the less intense twist, then lying on the back with both legs bent, feet on the floor, scooting the hips over to the left, dropping both bent legs over to the right, and adding as much padding as you want or need between the legs. You could even have padding under that bottom leg and between the legs. And then you have the option to add the neck into the twist by turning and looking towards that left hand. Continuing to let the body relax into the floor and relax into the props. We're going to make our way back onto our backs. can arrive in constructive rest pose, lying on your back with your legs bent, feet on the floor, with the knees over the ankles and the feet about hip width apart, arms down by the sides now. Just resting here for a few more breaths, letting your back body reset. And it is now time for Shavasana. And we can make this a prop heavy Shavasana as well. I will give you some ideas. These are how I like to lie in Shavasana. Please do whatever you want to do to support your body so that you're comfortable. So I like the bolster under my knees, or whatever big padding you have under the knees. And then I'm going to put some padding, my beach towel, for under my heels, a little extra padding. And then I'm going to have a blanket for under my head. And then I'm going to put my favorite blanket on top of my tummy. So again, your Shavasana can look like anything. It doesn't have to look like my Shavasana. You need to get as comfortable as you can. And the Shavasana will just be a few minutes. So you are welcome to pause this video, maybe set a timer, and take 10, 15, even 20-minute Shavasana. Lovely. Chef's kiss. Okay. So just getting comfortable. Maybe that big padding directly under your knees. Do all of those things for you to get comfortable. Maybe tuck the shoulder blades under. Palms can be up. And again, just letting go, relaxing as best you can, letting the floor and your props support your body. Body softening, breath relaxing, and maybe the mind softening as well. Enjoy your Shavasana. Starting to bring some awareness back into the body, feeling the body on the floor and on your props. You can start to bring in some deeper breaths here. And you can add back any movement you'd like to, maybe just some little wiggles, fingers and toes, open and close the hands, point and flex the feet, maybe roll out wrists and ankles. Maybe you'd like a big stretch, reaching the arms back and the feet forward. I'm just throwing out some ideas. You do anything that sounds good to you. Maybe you want a small shape. You could bend the legs and bring the knees in towards the chest. Maybe some gentle rocking side to side to massage the low back. You could roll onto your side and spend a few breaths on your side. And if you'd like to join me, coming up to a comfortable seat, and we will close out this yoga practice. I invite you to bring your hands to heart center or to place your hands over your heart. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe, healthy, happy, and peaceful. Thank you for your practice. Namaste.